Good morning. Well, actually, it's afternoon on the East Coast. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome. I'm determining which glasses I want to wear. I think I'll do these. Yes, at the moment, my readers. Welcome, welcome, beautiful souls. It's Coach D, your breakthrough guide to clarity, focus, and transformation. Guess what? It is coffee time with Coach D. I know most of you are like, oh, Coach D, I've already had my coffee. Well, it's Monday, and Coach D has just been stirring a little bit later today, and I love that. I love being able to have that option to move slower on certain days, and so that's what I'm doing today. Yet, I wanted to come and this morning, hopefully, give you some golden nuggets to start your week out. Let me get a sip of my coffee. Oh, it's so good and it's nice and hot. Today, on this Monday, November 3rd, I have a question for you. Okay, here's the question. I want you to think about this. And when you think about it, I also want you to jot down your response because it's just for yourself. You don't have to share it with anyone if you wish not to. The question today is, what parts of your daily life feel like they were chosen for you and not by you? Again, what parts of your daily life feel like they were chosen for you and not by you? Take a moment and think about that. I ask this question because so often in life, we're just going. We're just running. And we don't pause to just think about, what am I doing? If what I'm doing serves me, and what I mean by if what you're doing serves you, is it serving your purpose? Is it serving the essence of you? Is it serving what you in creation are supposed to be doing? And because we're running, and particularly now, oh my goodness, in the 21st century, with all the amazing technology we have, all of our devices, I mean, everyone has a smartphone. At least it appears that way. And if some have smartphone, tablets, laptops, TV, all of these devices, technology keeps us always running. We're always on. We're always consuming information from so many different places. Because of that, oftentimes we don't take a moment to pause, to breathe, and just think about, am I on the right track? Am I doing what I should be in life? Am I happy? And happy as an emotion, is a feeling. So don't walk down too far with that. Just take it for that emotion. Am I fulfilled? Do I feel like I'm thriving versus surviving? In the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s, those of you who will recall, there is a movie, and you can still, watch it, go out on the internet, search and see how you can watch it. And the movie, it was a series of movies called The Matrix. I love The Matrix. I love watching Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne and the other actors, actresses who performed in the movie. Absolutely loved it. That was a very telling movie. It made you think. The movie was based on The Matrix, based on being in a system that conditions one. Now, understand, the Matrix isn't just a system. That's important to know. It's a mindset. And I want you to think about this. Think about your mind, your mindset. What have you been conditioned? What have you inherited through conditioning? Here's some things to think about. How about work until you burn out? Work until the day you die. Fit in, not stand out. Earn your worth. Woo, how many of us have heard that? Especially if you are a Black person in the United States, you are an Black African American. Probably heard that a lot. Earn your worth. Be practical, not passionate. Play it safe. How many of us have heard those types of words? And that's just a small list. But that was a conditioning of our mindset. That also means it makes it even more challenging to step out of that matrix, out of that old way of thinking, out of that condition. Let me change that conditioned way of thinking. Now, when you've been doing that and thinking that way for decades, like myself, I am 56, about to be 57 next month. I am a December Sagittarius, and baby, I love it. December is my favorite month out of the year because I get to reflect and celebrate me. And I love that. But when you've been doing it for decades, I spent over 30 years in corporate America. Left a six-figure income position. Spent 20 plus years of that, over 30 years in IT. Saw a lot happening. Worked with a lot of people. Traveled all over the United States consulting for a number of years. And it came to a point, for me, it was burnout. It was burnout. At the beginning of 2024, I had to realize, I had to take a moment and sit down and say, wait, what I'm doing is no longer serving me. What I'm doing is making me ill. It is impacting my health, my physical health, my emotional health, my spirit, my soul, the very essence of me felt like it was being drained, sucked out. So when you are someone like that, someone who has lived inside the matrix for decades, those bars become invisible because they are beliefs and not metal. So we begin to take that conditioning that we inherited, and they become beliefs, beliefs that we stand on, beliefs that we will share with other folks. Never realizing all we're doing is playing small inside of the matrix. So when you think of that question and you think of your response, the question again, thank you for those who are joining me. Thank you. Hello, my sister, Anita, my beautiful sister in Tampa, Florida, and life. Well, it's been many years that she and I have been sisters. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, my darling Derek. Thank you, sweetie, for joining. And others, please give me heart, share. Make sure you share this. I need your support in what I'm doing. So the question again, what part of your daily life feels like It was chosen for you and not by you. Now, again, breaking free of the matrix doesn't happen overnight. It happens the day you decide that survival isn't enough. Ooh, that you deserve to live, to thrive. Now, let me tell you, as a person who has experienced, when I recognized in early 2024 that I had to make some changes, and I took some medical leave so that I could get healthy again. And at the end of that, I found myself where I could not go back. I remember my doctor asking me, she said, Dina, are you going to go back to work? What are you going to do? And I remember that question. And my answer to that question was so difficult to actually respond, because I had been conditioned that you work hard, you show up, you give your best every day, even when you don't feel like it. You grind, you make it happen. You earn that 6-figure income, and you make sure they know that, hey, I've earned this spot. Baby, all the work I did, all that I gave, it came down to that moment where I had to look at myself and say, what am I going to do? Am I going to continue in the matrix, or am I going to get out? I chose for myself to leave the 6-figure income, to leave the amazing benefits, to leave my leadership role. I chose that. I agonized to get to that decision, but I chose to take a sabbatical, to take some time away so that I could think, so that I could actually breathe and not just do, that I could be. I could sit in being. Started out, it's just going to be 6 months. Well, 6 months led to a year. And in that year, when I got to the end of that year and was faced with, all right, do you go back out in corporate America? Do you start, hey, let people know on LinkedIn and in my network, hey, I'm ready to go back to work. I'm ready for the next contract if you don't have full-time permanent work, because I was used to doing that, baby. Well, thought that was going to be it, but it wasn't. Instead, the creator of all, my creator, your creator, my God, laid it on my heart. Dina, what you were doing over 30 years for someone else's company, what you were pouring into others at the company, and truly, even though I had a great salary, it still was not my worth. And when my creator allowed me to see what you've been doing for others, you can do for yourself, and you can help others come out of the matrix. You can help others to step into what they were created to do. You can help guide others on this journey to clarity, to being able to focus, to be able to transform. I started focusing on a business that I had for many years, but was always doing it on the sideline when I had a chance. I revamped my coaching business and focused on helping others to become entrepreneurs, business owners, or for those who were not looking for entrepreneurship, but wanted to level up in their career, starting to work with them in that. And let me tell you, when I started creating and allowed myself to create, Oh my gosh. The feeling, the happiness that came, the joy. I felt like my joy was restored. I felt anew. I felt finally I wasn't just surviving, but I was thriving. Now, no, I wasn't making six figures out the gate with my business. Yeah, of course, missed that. Didn't have the benefit package because guess what? You're working for yourself. So you've got to pay for those benefits. You've got to work for those benefits. Yet I would not change a thing. I would not change anything about my journey because now I get to shine. Thank you, Anita. Thank you for saying I've always been brave. Baby, you got to have courage in life. And thank you for saying that. Thank you. And in hearing that from someone who was a soldier, retired soldier, who served and went to wartime, that means a lot to hear that. It is not easy to make these choices. Yet if you can if you can put your life in someone else's hands with a job, an employer who can let you go, who can downsize and say, hey, you've done great work for us, but we no longer need you. And I know people like that. I have a little sis who literally worked, I think she was 24 or 27 years for a company. And now her department is being reassigned, moved to Mexico. And of course, she wasn't wanting to go to Mexico because of her life here. And her last day with that company was last Friday. She served them, gave all those years, thought she was going to retire from that company. But because of changes within the company, within the business, it wasn't anything personal. It was business. She found herself, now, what do I do? Do I start over? Now I've got an interview. As she told me, she's like, I haven't had to give my resume to anyone or interview with anyone in, over 2 decades. Where do I begin? And I am so grateful she entrusted me, her big sis, to help her with some of that, to help her revamp her resume, to help her get her LinkedIn profile out there, to talk with her. So let me pull myself back in because, Coffee Time with Coach D is unscripted and I want it to be that way and stay that way. Let me get another sip. I want to be able to come as my authentic self and just to talk with you and to share these golden nuggets. So if you find yourself, once you put responses to the question, and again, in case you join later, the question that you're answering is, what parts of your daily life feel like they were chosen for you and not by you? When you answer that honestly, if you find that you're ready to make a change, if you find that you're like, hey, Coach D, I've got this great business idea, I just don't know where to begin, I want you to reach out. Reach out to me and my team. Reach out to find out how we can help. Or maybe you just want to level up in your career. You're like, Coach D, I'm not wanting to start a business, but I do want to go to the next level in my career. How do I do that? Reach out to me and my team. That's what we're here for. And if I'm not the one, if I'm not your cup of coffee or your cup of tea, that's fine. There are resources out there. There are some dynamic coaches out there, wonderful consultants out there. Do some homework and find who you do resonate with. As I conclude, so I can enjoy the rest of my coffee and my nice cinnamon raisin bagel that I made myself, I just want you to remember that you were never meant to be a cog, C-O-G, You were never meant to play it small. You were never meant to sit by the wayside. You were meant to be a creator. Now, what are you going to do next? It's your choice. You have all the power and everything you need inside of you. What will you do with it? Thank you for taking a moment with Coach D and her coffee. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, following, all those things. I appreciate you. Now, let's make it a great day. Until we talk again, take care, beautiful souls.